Hi friend, in this video we're going to practice the actual question which appears in RTA theory test. So before we start practicing the question, let's talk about the final exam. The final exam usually have 40 questions, out of which 30 need to be correct in order to pass the exam. 100 questions, and those 40 questions will come from these. They are less able to predict possible problem. That was the right option. Second question, how long does it take to learn to be a good driver? Read the option and answer the correct one. If you choose many years of driving practice, that was the correct answer. What is the main factor that help you to be a better driver? Read the options. And if you choose undertaking as many lessons as possible, then it was the right option. New driver have a high crash rate because, read the option. The first one is they have not done many hours of driving practice. The second is lack of confidence, can be distracted by other people advice. So again, in this kind of question, all three seems to be correct, but you need to choose the best one. So the best answer is the first one. Driving is more dangerous if you have noise sensor in your car. Do not keep your car clean and tidy. Go on long drive regularly. So if you choose the first option, that was the correct one. Let's go to the next question. While driving, a head check means, what does head check means? So read the option, and if you choose looking over your shoulder to see through the side windows. So why we do head check is usually done to check your blind spot, which you cannot see in the mirror. So here is the next question. You are driving a vehicle A. Before you move into the left lane, you should read the options. And if you choose option B, do a head check to ensure there is a room for you in front of vehicle B, then it was the correct option. New drivers are more likely to crash because they often drive. What do you think? If you choose option first, that was the correct one. New driver tend to focus more on mechanical side of operation. This is risky period because if you choose option B, that's the correct answer. Why is it important to scan the road scene when you drive? Why we need to scan the road? Is it because you need to anticipate the potential hazard? If you only focus on driving, you will not come to know what is happening on your surrounding. You see this picture shows the blind spots here. The diagram shows a driver's blind spot. What can you do about blind spot when you drive? Of course, what you need to do? Shoulder check. Head check regularly. So know your blind spot and do a head check regularly. When you do an assessment test, even the practical assessment test, the examiner usually notice these things if you are doing a regular head check or if you're checking a mirror on regular basis or not. Most traffic violation like beating the red light is usually caused by, the answer is easy. That is because of the bad attitude, not because of the skill. You're driving vehicle A. Which vehicle are in your blind spot? You see, you're driving here. Both the vehicle are on your blind spot. So the answer is here. So see this picture before you answer the questions, because these kind of questions comes a lot and these are very tricky questions. Sometimes it's really tricky. As part of defensive driving, how should your vehicle B deal with this situation? So vehicle B is here. The options are assume that vehicle A may stop for the bike rider. Okay, that seems to be correct option. Assume that vehicle A will not stop, and the third one is assume that the bike rider will stop. You need to assume the worst in this kind of scenario. You are driving vehicle A and the biker is about to cross your path. What should you do? What should you do? Is about to cross the path. Look out for the biker and be ready to stop if necessary. Is the correct answer, because you are already in the intersection. If you are driving vehicle C, which is here, what should you be doing to stay safe? Of course, you have a stop sign, so you need to stop. Stop before entering the intersection. Vehicle A is about to collide with the biker. What was the reason? You have three options, choose the correct one. If you choose vehicle A did not obey the traffic rule, was the correct option. Why? Because vehicle A had a stop sign. Which driver need to do a head check to see the other vehicle? Of course, vehicle A, very simple one. Why? Because vehicle B is driving behind. When you have developed the skill to control your car, you will then know, read the option, all there is to know about the driving, how to drive safely on the road, and only one of many skills. It's only one of many skills. One of the many techniques to safe driving is, read the option. The right option is to try to predict what other driver will do next. This is called hazard perception. What is one way of telling that you are becoming more skilled as a driver? The option A is the correct option. Your control on speed is much more smooth. The next question is, new driver that have plenty of practice notice more danger on the road ahead, drive faster in heavy traffic, don't use their brakes very often. So what is the right option? Option A is the right option. What is one way of telling that you are becoming more skilled as a driver? Again, option A, you need less advice from your driving instructor. What is one of the way of telling that you are becoming more skilled as a driver? Okay, option A, again, you make correct decision before your driver asks you to do. You drive and stop at an intersection that has a red traffic light. Can you use a mobile phone while you wait for a change of light? The answer is no. We never use mobile when we're driving. Doesn't matter if you're at an intersection or a signal light. Which example is usually the result of using mobile phone while driving? This question comes quite often. You will definitely get one question out of the mobile phone. Okay, so the option 1 is the right option. Speeding up or slowing down without reason. What could be the reason why this collision occurred? Obviously, the mistake of driver A, because he was on stop line. So vehicle A did not obey the traffic rule. As a driver, at what time of the day you feel fatigue? Answer the question. You have three options. So the answer is if you are driving at a time when you would normally have been sleeping. So basically, if you're doing a night shift and you're driving in the daytime, when you usually sleep, that's the time you will feel more fatigue. You start losing focus and drift on across other lane. It is time to take a break. Take a break. Do we have an option? Yes. Take a break from your driving. Driving when tired can cause you to sleep at the wheel and can result to a crash. Driving under the influence of alcohol is very dangerous because alcohol is not allowed at all. That's also right. But again, as I said previously, you need to choose the best option. The following distance become less. Judging the driving risk become more difficult. So this is more correct. Judging the driving risk becomes more difficult. So when you are under the influence of alcohol, your thinking power slows. So it takes more time to think. The next question: in case of a crash, you can be thrown out of a car. This can be prevented if, of course, by seat belt. So you should have an option of seat belt if you are wearing a seat belt. Some questions are easy. However, half of the question would be very tricky. So you need to look for those questions. You are driving vehicle A along a narrow road. How should your driving be? The option are slower with one hand on the horn. No, horn again. It's only for emergency. You do not honk the horn. Slower, ready for any hidden hazard. That's correct option. You are driving vehicle A. How should you manage the driving risk? You are driving vehicle A is here. The option are complete your turn quickly. No. Wait until you can see where the cyclist is going. Okay, so option B is the correct option because you are going this side, you have a cyclist here. You're driving vehicle A. How should you manage the driving risk? The options are slow down and be ready to stop. Stop and warn the other vehicle to stop as well. Slow down and change the lanes. So option 1 is correct because it's a highway and you cannot stop. So you need to slow down and be ready in case any pedestrian come in front of you. Vehicle B and C have collided. The most likely cause of this collision is that vehicle B moved to the right lane without checking for a clear space. So vehicle B changed the line, but it didn't check for space. Vehicle A and B have collided. The most likely cause of the collision is that, see the scenario, see the picture. You have a stop line. A is stopping there. It's a mistake of driver B. So while B was following vehicle A, vehicle B was following vehicle A too closely. That's the correct option. Which of the image is the correct application of 2-second rules? So when we are driving, the rule says you need to maintain a distance of 2 seconds. So here we have 3 pictures. We need to click on the right picture. So right one is this one. Let's go to the next questions. You're driving car A. What does that diagram say about following distance? In good driving condition, there should be at least a 2-second gap between you and the car in front. Is the right options. In good condition, you should leave at least a 2-second gap between you and the car in front. When should you leave a larger gap? So in a good condition, you need to keep 2-second gap. When should you increase the gap is in case if there is rain, storm, or so this is the choose right option. When the driving condition are poor, such as sandstorm or rain, or in case of fog. You're driving vehicle A. The driver of vehicle B is trying to overtake your car. What should you do? As a good driver, whenever someone is trying to overtake you, you keep on the right side and slow down. You're driving vehicle A, you want to overtake vehicle B. You are coming up to the top of a hill. You should overtake vehicle B before the top of the hill. Stay behind vehicle B until you are over the hill and it is safe to overtake. So we usually do not take over on hill or on a curve. So avoid overtaking there. So right option is this one. How do you avoid aquaplaning? I hope you know aquaplaning. If not, let me give you a quick brief of aquaplaning. Is when you're driving on a road, there is a rain and your tires start rotating on top of the road. So in this scenario, what you need to do is you need to slow down, okay, and drive in the center lane of the road because they have a slope on the side. So the right option is by slowing down, increasing following distance and traveling in middle lane if possible. You're driving vehicle A. How can you avoid a head-on crash with vehicle B? You can see vehicle A is coming here. The vehicle B is coming from the opposite direction, which is overtaking the other car. So in this scenario, what you need to do is you need to keep your car to the right-hand side and slow down. So the right option is slow down as safely as you can and move off the road to the right if possible. It doesn't mean that you're driving vehicle A, you're about to crash into a bike rider who has pulled out of ahead of you. To avoid crash like this, you should you need to slow down when approaching parked car so you can see the potential hazard and you can react in a time. You're driving vehicle A, part of load of truck B is about to fall off. You should see this load is coming out. You should always slow down. Check behind and slow down as quickly as possible because it might fall onto you. You're driving vehicle A. When can you safely turn right? See, this is vehicle A. Face white solid line, which means you need to stop at least for 3 seconds, do a shoulder check, and once it is clear, then only you can go ahead. So you need to stop, wait for the car B to take a turn, then you can go. So option A, after you have made eye contact with the driver now, when vehicle B has slowed and started to turn right, that's the time you can take your turn. Who is the best person to decide whether a medicine might affect you when driving? Easy. The answer is your doctor or a pharmacist. Neither you or neither the instructor. When is vehicle A permitted to overtake vehicle B? So when he can take only when the road ahead is clear. Which vehicle can overtake? We have two scenarios now. If you see, vehicle B is faced by a solid yellow line, whereas vehicle A is faced by dotted yellow line. So the rule is, if you have a solid line toward you, you cannot overtake. So vehicle B cannot overtake. However, vehicle A is allowed to overtake. Now, if both the lines are solid, it means neither this side you can overtake nor from this side you can overtake. So here only vehicle A can overtake. There are double yellow solid lines painted in the center of the road. Are you permitted to cross the line to overtake? Never. You are never allowed to cross the solid yellow line. Which vehicle must give way? Now you see here dotted white line means give way. You need to give away. Once it's clear, then only you can move. So vehicle A and C need to give way. Looking at the diagram, which vehicle can turn right? First. So first is vehicle B because A is faced by the give way sign. You're driving along a road with overhead lane signal as shown in the diagram. Which lane are you permitted to use? Okay, if you have a lane which is crossed, it means this lane is closed. So you need to take either three of these lanes. Any lane under a green or white arrow. That's the right option. Next question is, you are driving vehicle A, can you overtake vehicle B on the right? Right line is closed, so you cannot overtake it on the right. Who must give way? Choose the correct answer. Okay. See, need to analyze the pictures. Car B is faced by stop line. A doesn't have this line, so A can go, B need to give away. Vehicle B must give way to vehicle A because vehicle A has a priority over B. You are driving vehicle A, which is here. Do you need to give way to other vehicles? What do you think? The answer is neither vehicle A nor vehicle C because this vehicle is faced by stop sign and same for the vehicle C as well. You are driving vehicle A, you must give way to both the vehicle because you are faced by stop line. They doesn't have it. 60. You are driving vehicle A. You must give way to. Now in this scenario, you need to give it to pedestrian as well as the bike, both the bike rider and the pedestrian. You are driving vehicle A. You must give way to. Again, same, both. Why should vehicle A give way to vehicle B? Because A is faced by the stop line. The white solid line means stop line, whereas white dotted line means give way line. You are driving vehicle A. What is the safest way to leave the roundabout? You are driving vehicle A. For him, this line is the safest. Okay, this will go from here. So give way to vehicle B before you leave doesn't make a sense. Move across to the right lane as you leave. Right lane is this side. You cannot do that. Stay in the left lane as you leave. This is the right option. You are driving vehicle A. Which vehicle must give way to? For driving vehicle A, you need to give way to vehicle C only. Between vehicle A and B, which has priority and why? Vehicle A and B, what do you think? See, A is facing a stop line, so B has a priority. B, vehicle B, because vehicle A is facing a stop line, that's the right answer. Next question is, which vehicle must give way? Vehicle B, same reason. Easy one. But sometimes you'll get very tricky question in this situation also, like this. Now, which vehicle must give way? Vehicle A, vehicle B. Okay. Now, vehicle A is also faced by a stop line. Vehicle B is also faced by a stop line. In this kind of scenario, now who is taking turn need to give away. So, vehicle B is going on to the left hand side. So, vehicle B need to give way to vehicle A. That's right. That was a tricky one. Which vehicle must give way? Here, this is easy. Vehicle B is faced by stop line, so you need to give away. Which vehicle must give way? Again, vehicle B. Same reason. This seems to be a bit tricky question. Now, this is very tricky. You will get a couple of this kind of question. You are driving vehicle A. What should you do? Now, I'll give you time. You decide the answer, then we'll discuss. The question is, you are driving vehicle A. What should you do? The option are continue to make the turn if it is safe to do so. Wait until vehicle B has moved through the intersection. Wait until vehicle C has moved through the intersection. If you choose the first option, this is the correct one. Let me tell you why. See, all the vehicle have the stop line, but apart from that, there is this line signal also here. This intersection is monitored by signal, not only by the stop line. So this car has a red signal, this car has a red signal. However, car A have a green signal, so it can make a turn. So wherever you have a signal, you need to follow the signal. Which vehicle should go first? Of course, vehicle B. Why? So this is taking turn and this is on the stop line. You are driving vehicle A. Who must you give way to? You are driving vehicle A. B is on the stop line, so you need to give way to C. You are the driver of vehicle A, which is here. You are parked and about to enter the stream of traffic. You must give way to, since you are in a parking, you need to give way to both bike rider as well as vehicle. Easy one. You are driving vehicle A. How long or how should you complete the turn? The option are, you should enter the intersection and complete your left turn. You should enter the intersection slowly and give way to the pedestrian. This is the right option. You know why? You already have a green signal. However, pedestrian is crossing on a red light. Still, you can go slowly and look if give way to the pedestrian because it's already crossing. Each of these vehicles is about to turn right at the roundabout. Which vehicle is in the correct and safe position to turn right? The option is vehicle B only. Which vehicle is taking the safest path? Okay, let's Test your knowledge now. What do you think? Vehicle A, B, or C? If your answer was vehicle A, it should be the correct option. Yes, if you see vehicle B, C is coming from here. Ideally, he should have taken the inner line, but he's coming from here and taking the outside line. Same here, he's in an outer line and he's turning it to the left lane. So the question here is, which of these vehicles are permitted to turn right? See the pictures. So vehicle A and B is permitted to turn right. Right, because C is signed, you can see arrow here is straight and left one. The next question, you are driving vehicle A here, you want to turn left. Which lane should you turn into? So you have option 1, 2 and 3. So if you're here, you should take lane 3. If you're here, you should take lane 2. So since you're driving car A, you should take lane 3. You're driving vehicle A, what should you do as you enter the freeway? Now this is again very important, not for the test, but for the practical exam as well. So as soon as you come from an intersection to the main road, you should maintain the speed of the main road. So you need to adjust your speed. Adjust your speed to match the freeway traffic. You're driving on a multi-lane freeway. When should you drive in the left lane? Left lane, remember, is always for overtaking. Only to overtake. This will help in the practical exam as well. So see the diagram, and the question is, which vehicle should signal to leave the roundabout if practical? Ideally, all the vehicles should signal to leave the roundabout. So both vehicle A and B should signal it. Next question is, you are driving vehicle A. How can you turn safely? Read the option. Signal for 30 meters before you turn. There is no such rule. Slow down, drive fast. Vehicle B, then signal and turn. This is the right option. So you need to slow down. Once you are here, then you signal and turn. So the next question is, you are driving vehicle A and want to overtake vehicle B. What should you do? Since you are in the fast lane, remember this is the overtaking lane. You should wait for vehicle B to move to the right. You are driving vehicle A. What is difficult to judge when you want to overtake? Since, see, if you want to overtake, your car is here, right? If you want to overtake, what is difficult? Is to judge what is the speed of C, because it's coming from the opposite direction. So speed of vehicle C is the right option. So you see, next question is, you are driving a vehicle A. When can you overtake? So as a general rule, if you have a solid line, you cannot overtake. So it means you cannot overtake in the curves. Okay. So options are, as soon as vehicle C has driven fast, you know, when you have a clear view of the road ahead. So option B is the right option. You are driving vehicle A at 120 km per hour on a multi-lane road. You want to change the lane. Give way to vehicle B, overtake vehicle B, then change lane. Horn is always no, so you need to give way to vehicle B. Why? Because it's on the fast lane. You are driving vehicle A. What can you do to make it safer to cross the intersection? Make eye contact with the driver to get an idea of what vehicle B will do. Speed up so you can cross the intersection before vehicle B turn. Stop and let vehicle B turn first. So what do you think is the right option? Since you have a priority over vehicle B, you make eye contact is the right option. Next question is, vehicle A give way to vehicle B. So vehicle A is here, vehicle B is here. So A is giving way to B. Which vehicle has a priority here? Even though A is giving way to vehicle B, the priority is of vehicle A because it is on the main stream of the road. You are driving in heavy traffic. Your lane is blocked by a vehicle turning left. What should you do? First option is the right option. You need to wait until you take the turn. You're driving vehicle A. Why must you give way? Because law required it. When you are going from a side road to the mainstream, you need to give to the pedestrian and look for the traffic as well. You are driving car A. Do not cut in front of the truck. Because why? Because trucks need more space to put the brake. You crash? Sorry, you are in a crash. The police are not in the attendance. Someone is injured. What should you do? In this scenario, you need to call the police. Report the crash to the nearest police station. If your car breaks down, you should. This is the right option. Warn other driver by using hazard light. When must you drive with light on? From sunset to sunrise. Extra care must be taken when driving near school because young kids may cross the road without looking. The right option. It's an easy one. Placing the baby car seat at the rear seat is safer because front passenger airbag may deploy and injure the baby. If you are driving a pickup truck, you should always cover the road to stop it moving. The picture shows red traffic light. This means you must stop. This is mandatory sign. One of the difficulties of driving is letting other driver know when they are driving dangerously. Predicting what other driver will do. This is the right answer. Checking your engine oil travel. So, driving is more dangerous if you adjust the radio. Yeah, that's dangerous also. Talk on mobile. That's also dangerous. The third option is adjust the radio or talk on a mobile phone as you drive. This is the right option. Now, in this kind of question, you need to choose. We'll discuss in another video. So if you like this, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video. Thank you for watching.